I need him to be out there and contribute. He's one guy that I think of right off the bat. I definitely think he's right. So I will talk to Logan privately. I expect you guys to do exactly what I asked you to do, to get back, camps and jerseys away. If you didn't play very much, I expect you to play tomorrow and get some repetitions in. Okay? We're not going to say Ravens on 3, okay? We're going to get in here, okay? We're going to get in our locker room and get our stuff. Okay? Let's go.
This Friday sees a matchup of two teams playing out their final stretches in the PTC as East Canton travels to take on Windham. Both teams will be joining other leagues for the 2013-14 season, as East Canton is set to become a part of the Inner Valley Conference, while Windham will depart from the smaller Northeast Athletic Conference. As for the game itself, both teams would just be happy to get a win following a tough couple of weeks with games against the County Division's top two teams. Windham comes in loses of 3 straight after falling to Southeast, Mogador, and Waterloo. East Canton, meanwhile, has dropped 2 in a row in games against Southeast and Woodridge. Windham's senior quarterback Matt Knight is the Bombers' best weapon on offense, and everything goes through their signal caller. Knight can throw the ball and run the ball, presenting a challenge for the East Canton defense. Speaking of defense, when East Canton gets a win this season, the Hornets usually do it with a solid defensive showing. In 3 victories, East Canton is giving up only an average of 9 points. In 4 losses, however, the Hornets have given up an average of 38.5 points. If there is a silver lining, it's that I do not expect the Bombers to be able to score 38.5 points on just about anyone in the league, let alone teams like Woodridge or Southeast, who are 2 of East Canton's losses. East Canton senior Austin Tekip is a pretty good athlete and the Hornets' best offensive weapon for sure right now. Against Southeast, he returned a kickoff 88 yards for a score and put his team on the board again in the second half with another long run. If he's not the person who's causing trouble for Windham this Friday, I'm not really sure who it's going to be. Speaking of offense, Windham has not scored a point since Week 5, and it's not like Week 5 was any better as the Bombers were beat 42-10 by Southeast. Since then, the Bombers have been shut out in losses to Mogador and Waterloo. So far for the Windham Bombers, a good first start to get this ship righted would be to find the end zone. Windham has just 2 home games left as a member of the PTC, counting this Friday. After this Friday's game with East Canton, the Bombers host Woodridge next Friday on senior night. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but Woodridge is playing very, very good football, and I don't know if I see a win in the cards for the Bombers next week, so this Friday is going to be their best chance to pick up a home win in their final season in the PTC. Norton will look to pull the biggest upset in the program's recent history Friday night when the Panthers travel to take on division co-leader Ravenna. The Panthers are coming off of a 14-7 loss to Streetsboro last week, but anytime you allow just 2 touchdowns in a game, that means your defense is doing enough to get you a victory. Ravenna, on the other hand, is kind of in a strange position because they are looking to turn the page, but they're looking to turn the page after a victory. For head coach Jim Lenardi and company, they want to put their dramatic 15-14 win over Field in the past and refocus on winning a game the old-fashioned way. No bouquet passes necessary. Speaking of Kyle Spellman, the senior quarterback returns this Friday under center for the first time since breaking his hand in Week 1. Spellman has played on defense much of the year and took running snaps last week, but he has yet to attempt a pass since his injury. Spellman brings a nice run-pass dynamic to the offense, but it will take a little bit of time for him to get back into the flow of the offense. This seems kind of weird when you rack up 300 yards on the ground against Field, but it was a really quiet 300-yard effort by the Ravenna running game, if that's even possible. Ravenna didn't look like it got great push against Field at all the entire evening, and Falcons defenders were making an awful lot of stops at the line of scrimmage and behind it. If Ravenna wants to win a league title and advance in the playoffs, they need to get more consistent with their running game, and it's something that I'm sure head coach Jim Lenardi and his staff are well aware of. For Norton, quarterback Colton Costanzo has been a steady player under center this season, but he was forced to leave last Friday's game with a concussion. Concussions are unpredictable injuries, and I haven't heard yet whether he will or will not be available for Friday's game. Everything rests on his symptoms and whether they disappeared with enough time to be worked into the game plan. If he is not there, that's a definite blow on offense for Norton. That's it this week for Inside the PTC. As always, follow me on Twitter at RCSportsNow and visit recordpub.com for more information on PTC football. I'm Colin Harris, and I'll see you again next week inside the PTC.